How's it going, guys? I'm Andrew with Nautilus Spearfishing, and I'm here today because I want to be, and because, well, we're going to talk about fin care and maintenance. We have a dive shop here, Nautilus Spearfishing. We've been around for about 7 years. Throughout the course of those 7 years, we have seen a barrage of broken fins. From any brand you can think of, we've seen them break. So I have been using carbon fiber fins for about 8 years. And I have not once, and I've had some pretty crappy carbon fins in the past, never once have I broken a carbon fiber fin. So that tells me that maybe I'm doing something right, and maybe some of you may not be, so let's educate you guys. Yes. Okay, so here we have our Nautilus Carbon Siphon Series fin. Normally a carbon fiber fin, if you're going to break it, usually it's going to, it's not easy to break these fins. You can bend them, you can twist them. The customer will be a little upset if he sees this, but we'll use these instead. You can bang them up pretty hard and they do not break. The only way a carbon fiber fin is going to break is if you bend it against its natural form for prolonged periods of time, or you overflex it to a point where it just can't bear the weight anymore. So when you go to mount a fin, make sure that this is all nice and flush. The more movement you have, usually if you have two set screws here and you have movement from the back section here and it's teeter-tottering back and forth, it's not a good thing. So try to make sure that your fin is very nice and packed into the pocket, whether you're using screws or if you're gluing it, which is the case here with the Pathos pockets. You'll notice there's no gap here, nice and snug in there. You don't want to really have a gap here. So once you know that your fins are mounted properly, then you can kind of go off that. You also want to try to make sure you don't open up the holes on the angle right there. Okay, usually it's nice if you do it prior, like on the back half of that angle. Any hoodles, there are a couple things that you don't want to do with your carbon fins, and I see it a lot on these awesome YouTube videos that everybody thinks are so awesome, and people with very poor kicking technique and form. You do not want to kick from the knees. Knee kicking, you know, it kind of look like this. Check it out down here. See people on the surface and they're going to be kicking like this. If you do this, instead of kicking from the hips, which is you're opening up and kicking this way, this is much better. This is horrible. So when you see bicycle kicks, what's actually happening is I have the blade on, I'm literally pushing the blade up and down, up and down, up and down, instead of like a paintbrush. Now by pushing the blade up and down, I'm going to force it to make an S, kind of like this, which is an S shape. So if I continue pushing down on it, notice the flex points, which would be right here in the center, and usually a little bit further down here. So you're usually going to see a crack right here, and sometimes a crack here, where depending on the construction of the blade. So one thing not to do, guys, which is something we talk a lot about in our free dive classes, do not kick from the knees. So stop doing it. I see it a lot on your really cool videos out there. Okay. The other thing that a lot of people tend to do is when they're sitting on the gunnel of a boat, they're sitting on the gunnel of a boat and they go to hop off because everyone's super excited. They hop off like that real quick. What's going to happen is the blade is actually going to bend backwards this way like you would on a scuba water entry, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on the back half of this angle. This is actually very bad. You don't want to go too far and overflex the fin there. They can take some flex again, guys. It's not like these things are easy to break, but doing it over and over and over, it's going to eventually give. So when you go to jump in the water, either do it nice and slow and guide yourself down. You can also jump backwards into the water, or you can even go sideways like that and just keep your feet up so they don't get stuck down there. The other thing I see a lot on boats is that someone will actually have their fins on, and they're sitting on the gunnel. I'm inside the boat now, and there's the deck of the boat, and I'm gonna reach out to grab my spear gun, and they're gonna do this. They're gonna walk on the fin and look at my back heel. You see what I'm doing there? Like that? And that's what that's gonna do, is gonna be, imagine if I had these fins on and I'm putting all this pressure again to reach out and grab a spear gun. So that's also going to be very detrimental to the angle of that fin. The other thing you guys want to also look out for is not to over flex the blade. Like, I know there's sometimes guys who are really big dudes and they think that they have to kick super hard to go fast. It's not about going fast, it's about going efficient. So you want to make sure you don't over flex a fin. This is important to have the proper stiffness based upon your kicking style and your body type. So make sure you guys have the proper stiffness for your blades. The other thing is, I see a lot of people storing their fins like this. Again, going against the natural arc. Also, if you're on the boat and your fins are like this, what's going to happen? Someone might come by and step on it. Do that several times. It's going to be bad for the blade. So try to always keep it upside down, just like that. Okay, that way it goes naturally with the arc, and if someone steps on it, you're not looking too bad. The other thing, I know there's a lot of stuff, guys, but I'm going to just bombard you with it. Try to not store the fins standing up like this, or try not to drop them like this. You drop them like that, usually you're going to crack this way, and it's not good, obviously. So if you take care of your fins just like that, they should last you really nice and long time. Don't leave them out in direct sunlight for super prolonged periods of time, because carbon or any composite or any kind of glass material will get more brittle the more and more you expose it to sun, especially very strong sun exposure. So yeah, holy crap. Guys, if you don't know, we do these videos kind of without a script, and we just kind of go with the flow. So hopefully it wasn't too long. Thanks for watching as always. If you have any questions about maintenance and care, feel free to ask. Hope that helps. Till the next time we meet.